Awesome, Brian. This is your moment.
Yes,
Welcome to Startupgrind.
thank you
We
so
are
much.
really looking forward to this opportunity to get to hear from you so that
Yes,
you could educate us the construction industry. So much is going on,
thank you so
and
much.
we really appreciate your time. So, for us to start, first question would be who is Brian? Help us
Uh-huh.
understand who is Brian. Yes.
Brian is a Kenyan, born and raised in Kenya, who attended primary school in three schools. That is, started in Eldoret in Kandia Primary. Then I went to Bungoma County to other two schools, and then later I joined Nakuru Day Secondary School, of which after that I did my Form 4, I went to Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology, that is now renamed Rift Valley National Polytechnic, where I did a course in building and civil engineering diploma level. And then after that, we came out and we came into the industry, into the field, where now we were to practice what we've been taught in school. And thus far from that time until now, that's what I've been doing. That's been a core of my life, and that is what I've been doing until now.
So, if I may ask,
Yes,
I know you said times have changed. I'm
yes,
curious to note from the time you graduated and started your civil engineering, how
yes.
much has changed from that time to now?
One thing that has really changed is technology. Technology, when we were coming out, it was now just starting out in this country, though it had started out in other developed countries. So what has changed so much and is still changing is technology and new ways of construction that are emerging. I would say that would be the one big thing that is has really changed. And it's
Mhm.
not that it's now stagnant. It's always changing. It's always changing, not static. But the modes of construction and new materials in construction are coming up, and they are there. From the what will I say? Our typical way of building is changing.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
So let me now speak as a user.
Yeah.
You've studied, you're into the business. I want a house. How how should I approach that? You are the expert here. How do I
Oh,
approach? Yes.
now when you want a house, one thing you need to have is land. That's the first thing that you need to have. And then after you have your land ready, you have your papers ready. That is land. You have a title showing that you are the owner of the land, because we'll need the ownership details and documents. Number two, what we'll need to have, what we need to bear in mind is what is the function of the building you want to construct? What is the purpose? What is the function of the project? After we are done with it, what is it going to be used for? That is a question that we need to that project will need to answer. Another thing that is very important is how does your land, so topography, how does the land look like? How is it? Is it steepy? Is it hilly? Is it rocky?
Mhm.
Those are the things that we need to look at, because the type of how the topography is and the type of soil will now tell us how the foundation will be, how deep it will be.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that we need to consider. Another thing that we need to consider will be what is the budget? What is the budget
Mhm.
that you have for that work to be done?
Okay.
And another thing that will be very vital will be the labor into it. We have the specialist labor, and we have mechanized, not mechanized, the specialized one, and then we have this other that is not specialized or is not mechanized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the things that we will need to have and consider them
Mm-hmm.
before we have our project, from the initial point to the last one. And before that, there is this input that we'll need. Before you start a structure, after you've told us the function of your structure, we've gone to the site. It's called site survey. You've seen how your site looks like, the services around it, and then now we can come to the design stage. That's where we need now to do the designs. The designs, when you like them, then the designs will need to move to another place for called approvals, government regulations to be met. We do the approvals, and then we will do the quantities to sustain how much your construction or your project will cost.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put those together, now it will inform the client now about what budget they need to have their project complete. So basically, those are the things that we need to have in place
So
before
Brian,
we can
let me
start.
put you on the spot. Let me put you on the spot for a bit. I
Yes.
know it's Kenyan houses are sinking, especially during this time of El Nino. What are we doing wrong?
Come again?
I'm saying Kenyan houses are
Yes.
sinking, some falling during this El Nino rains. What are we
Yes.
doing
Yes.
wrong? Yes.
Aha. Now, one, uh, we have you have to, about the way you want to build. One,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know the type of soil that you want to build on. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
every type of soil is special and is different from the other,
Mm-hmm.
because every building that we're going to construct is going to sit on land. So this land should have some what we call the soil bearing capacity. The building should not be more, the weight of the building should not be more than the soil bearing capacity. Because when the building becomes more than the soil bearing capacity, that's the load or the stresses, now the building will sink. So that is one area that I
Mm-hmm.
think it has been slept on. And number two, you'll find
Mm-hmm.
out that the mode of construction, the construction was done poorly. The structure may be well designed, but the workmanship that is put in or was put in was not right.
Mm-hmm.
Now you find when you combine that, not bearing in mind the soil bearing capacity and then the workmanship, when those two are wanting, definitely what we're going to
Mm-hmm.
get is the defects like what's happening right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
So, the I know the title of the event. We wanted to know the difference. There's a word you threw my way. I
Yeah.
never knew
Yeah.
the construction industry. Draftsman. So, an architect technician versus a construction engineer. Are these one and the same people or it's different?
Oh, now uh,
Mm-hmm.
an architect is not an architect is the person that takes your dreams and put
Mm-hmm.
them to drawing. They call the drawers of dreams. You tell me your dream, and then I draw you your dreams. As an architect, you
Mm-hmm.
come up with the concept of your building that you want, the structure that you want, you put it on paper. But the engineer now is the person that will look for the right materials, put them together, and make that
Mm-hmm.
structure up.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get the difference between the two?
Yeah, so architect draws your dream
Yep.
and looks for the materials, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But now again,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the difference is not that much because when you're taking classes,
Mm-hmm.
you find that this architect that draws the building must know
Mm-hmm.
what type of building they are designing, the material that are
Mm-hmm.
going into the building. So
Mm-hmm.
there's just a thin line between them. There's one that will specialize into design, and there are those now that will be interested when they go to the field to do the field work. Because
Yeah.
when you have the drawing and you can be able to interpret it well, you
Mm-hmm.
can as well as come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
When you have all the people in, because you cannot build the house alone as an architect. You need other people. You need the quantity surveyors. You need the electricians. You need the plumbers. You need the masons. You need the carpenters. You need the tilers. You need the plasterers. You need to have all these people on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's come to your company, Aftermath Construction Services. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how long have you been. I'm curious to know how long you've been doing your company and how was it starting off? The very first few days when you decided, now let me form my own company and continue my practice.
Okay. Now, after school, there's a difference between what we learn in school and what is
Mm-hmm.
happening outside in the field. So
Sure.
in class, you do a lot of theory. You do a lot of theory, but in the field, you do a lot of now hands-on. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll
Mm-hmm.
find out that when I was coming out of school, what I've learned and the terms that were used in class were not the same terms or that were using they were being used in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came out in the field, there was like a disconnect. Like, okay, I know what is being done, but now the terms that are using out here, they are quite different. And I thought, like, is it the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the most important thing is that when I came out of class, I was now to come to the field and not put these two together so that I
Mm-hmm.
can get to know what I was learning in class. How how can I put that out here? Because out here in the field, people want results. So
Mm-hmm.
there was a friend of mine after school that he had a company. So we
Mm-hmm.
worked with him. I was always on site, knowing from how how to set up a building in class, but now putting it on the ground. So I learned a lot
Yeah.
of things from foundations, excavation, from how do you do the foundations, from how you put brick and mortar together, stone and mortar,
Yeah.
and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How carpenters will do their work. So it will not a day something that you learn in a day. So I was there for quite some time, learning through the fields, and then when coming back, you see whether what you've learned in the field, if you can put them in your own words and see if they sync with what we've been taught or we were taught. So
Mm-hmm.
I did various works with this company. We did some works here and there. It got to a point now that there was a construction in a college somewhere
Mm-hmm.
that now this friend of mine, I'll call him that because we're still friends right now.
Yeah.
He proposed me to a certain institution that I may supervise their works.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did that, now I built confidence in myself that I can handle some work. We did that work, and then after that, we got another. I think I got some other work away. did some jobs. Then later, I came to learn that what I had learned in school, I was able to do it confidently with what I gathered in the field. So after a while, and this should be some good time. It was not. I did some work with this guy for more than 5 years. Then I did some other jobs on my own, but I didn't have a company. I was just doing as a supervisor or something like that, supervise some construction. Later now, it's when I formed my own company. Yes.
So how was you know, in entrepreneurship, the biggest, I always say the most difficult thing is starting.
Yes.
How was it starting off? That's because how you handle the starting
Yeah.
is what defines the ending, right? Or
Yeah.
the success. So how did you
Yeah.
handle the very first time? And were you scared? Were you not sure of yourself? How did you handle that?
Now, there's this fear. We call it the fear of unknown.
Yeah.
It's like when you're entering into a dark room, you don't know where you're stepping.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that fear. There was that fear, and then I didn't know who the first client would be like and what kind of project they will come up with, whether I'll be able to handle them.
Mm-hmm.
But because I had done some projects that were different in scope,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready, though now I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
who the next client will be. So that fear was there, but I was able to
Mm-hmm.
overcome it because now the beauty with the construction is that you're not always alone. You have people that when you have the drawings, you'll ask your friend. Like I have a friend of mine that we were in school with. We always get to work. I always send him the drawings and ask him, how do you see that? How will you approach
Mm-hmm.
that if it were you? So when you get another person with a different perspective over the same thing, I think you grow
Mm-hmm.
the confidence. So we were able to handle the project to be with this confidence that I've done a project similar to this. Maybe it was smaller, maybe it was bigger than this. So you were able to forge ahead with it. But before I came to that, I had that fear. You just fear something. You cannot explain what this fear is. But there's always that thing. Yeah, there's always that thing
Mm-hmm.
that you don't know. They want to hold you down, but I overcame it.
You overcame it. Ah, that's wonderful.
Yes.
So as you
Yes.
proceed, I see Wycliffe has asked a question here. He's
Yeah.
saying, I see people constructing houses and maybe place them on the market. And we have people who have to first buy land, then construct a house. Which is the best option to buy something? Uh, David, can you mute your microphone? Okay, one minute. Let me get rid of this. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
So the question was,
Okay.
Brian,
Yes.
briefly to us, please, I see people constructing houses and maybe place them on the market. And we have
Mm.
people who have to first buy land, then construct a house. Which is the best option you advise someone to choose?
Aha. Now, I'll have two answers to this. One, uh, when someone builds a house and sells it,
Mm-hmm.
they are in business. That's business, and they're also looking for profit. So you'd find that one being expensive. That is number one, or more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you might not know how the house was constructed. After a house has been constructed and then it is painted and all that, it looks beautiful, but you don't know
Mm-hmm.
how they came up with the whole of it.
Mm-hmm.
So someone may want to cut costs in constructing the house, but would like to reap people, would like to get profit from it or to profit from it.
Yeah.
So to me, buying land and building your house, seeing it how it's being built bit by bit, and because most people are not in the construction field, there's someone we call is this person we call what do we call him? There's someone that is skilled in construction
Mm-hmm.
that will be employed by the client
Mm-hmm.
to foresee the interest of the client over the project. So the client will be informed, or the client will be better informed about their house, detail by detail. And then the client has the freedom to have his house or their house the way they want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can buy a finished house and then there's some things that you want changed into the same house. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
find out that the cost that you bought the house with goes up because the renovation maybe you like to be done into the same house will be your costs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to me, buying land and building your house according to your taste or to what
Mm-hmm.
to your preference is better than just buying a complete house that is ready.
Okay. Thank you. I think you have a second question, but there's also another question from Tumbi Ann. Tumbi
Yeah.
Ann asks, would you advise someone to build a semi-permanent house? What's a
Yes.
semi-permanent house? Would you advise someone to build a semi-permanent house or a permanent house?
Now this one depends with the function of the building, and number two, the
Mm-hmm.
location.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm doing a commercial uh, space,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go for a permanent house.
Okay.
But I'll choose when I'm building maybe in a different setting
Mm-hmm.
where maybe I'm not going to do it for business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has not that commercial connotation behind it. You can still
Okay.
go for the semi-permanent, and now you can improve on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever now there are a lot of things that will dictate this. One being the budget, two being the
Mm-hmm.
location, and then the function. I think those three will determine which way to choose or which way to go.
Wonderful. Second question by Ricky. Is it
Yes.
possible with the current inflations to categorically client, you will do your calculation for a client from scratch till a house is complete, and is aftermath reliable to do a full house?
Come again?
Okay. The first question is it possible with the current inflation
Yeah.
to tell a client that you will do a calculation for them from scratch? And then the second part of the question is aftermath reliable to do a full house construction for someone away? Let's say he's away in a different country. Is
Uh-huh.
aftermath reliable people to work in such till the house is complete?
Okay, fine. Let me try to answer this. Number one,
Mhm.
I'm seeing this question here is saying, is it possible with the current inflations? Now, the current inflation or no inflation, now that's what we're calling the budget.
Mhm.
Is the You cannot build a house beyond the budget the client wants. And now the budget of the client sometimes will not dictate will dictate the quality of the building, and that could be a negative thing, because well, I'll try to fit into the budget. We might do a work that is work that is not quality. Because when we talk about inflation, is that now we want we want to go behind the curtain of inflation and do a shoddy job and then say it's because of inflation. Number two, Aftermath is able to build a structure when the client is around or away. We'll always do a diligent job. We don't cut corners. What we do is deliver a sound building.
Reliable, that if cement are budgeted for 10, you'd use 10 and nothing more.
Yes, Aftermath is reliable. Aftermath is reliable. For us to come up with a sound structure or a sound building, we will need to follow all the regulations and the requirements that are needed to deliver a sound building. And that is number one, doing the right thing. When we are having mixes with something, there is what we call ratios in construction. We will follow the ratios and all that is needed to be done without compromising. That one we will do, and that one we are doing, and that one we have done. Yes.
Wonderful. Awesome. So,
And then just to touch on his first question.
Yes.
Just to add on his first question is this. I think it will be better before construction starts, that when the drawings are ready, the designs are ready, a bill is done. It's called the quantities are done, and then the cost, is let known to the client to see if the budget that he has goes hand in hand with the cost, so that we cannot have a substandard building because of the budget and then blame it on inflation. Yeah.
Well, that is well, and I see Wanyama is really recommending Aftermath. That is quite good. Any
construction may it be personal, private, or commercial, for designs, for actual construction, for bills of quantities, for renovations, we are ready. Don't look any further. Aftermath Construction Services, we are here and will offer you quality work. I always say teamwork makes the dream work. So we are here as Aftermath to build you a dream house, to build you that dream commercial business, to do anything construction. We are here and we won't let you down. That's our word.
Thank you very much for that.
Yes.